Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday, man. Oh, hope everybody's doing well. Another beautiful day for video gaming news and just playing video games, man. So obviously we'll do the news as we always do, and then we're going to dive into. We'll do a little quick session of Warframe probably while we wait on Pinky, but it seems like we'll have another day of Divinity, mostly, which will be good. That will be nice. So that's the play, man. That's what we've got in store. So on that note, let's get to it, baby. Video gaming news, let's go. That's what we're listening to this morning. Crypt of the Necro Dancer. Yeah. Crypt of the Necro Dancer, man. Good stuff. Rhythm-based adventure RPG game. Very extensive soundtrack too. Very extensive OST. Very cool. Go check it out, okay? Good stuff. Good stuff. Getting to the news. Prime Gaming and Riot Games run it back. Looks like they came to a new deal. Good, good, good. Very nice. That's good news for a lot of people that have been enjoying the in-game items that Prime Gaming has been providing to the players of Riot's games. So, you know, it's good stuff, man. Prime does a lot of collaborations for a lot of different titles. They give away free games, but they also do a lot of in-game item things, where they just they collaborate with other developers and give away in-game items. As long as you've got Prime Gaming, you can get that kind of stuff, and so it's a win-win for both sides of the ball there, if you will. You know, it's a ploy to get people into Prime Gaming to get in-game items and free games. So to buy into the Prime side of Amazon, as well as to get people into the video games in which they collaborate with, right? So faux show. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. It was like $24,000 worth of content on the eShop. It was probably big in part for content, and it's worked. It's all over the news right now, so you know it's working out for this individual. I see two sides of this. You know, outside of the just this was for content, and it worked. You know, outside of that, I see people wanting to go spend a lot of money in the eShops right now to get the items that they don't want to lose access to. But it's an unfortunate situation that people feel the need to do that right now, to go dump a bunch of money in on games they might not even play, just because they're worried that they might not ever get access to those games again, you know? And that's a shame. That's such a shame that Nintendo backs people into a corner like that. And ultimately, somebody going and spending $24,000 on that content plays right into Nintendo's hands on exactly what they're trying to get people to do. It's a pretty scummy thing that they do in this situation. So I don't know. I think mostly it was probably for content right there. I've no doubt they're probably a collectioner. You know, they don't want to lose access, but even if it wasn't, it's definitely gained them a lot of popularity in the gaming world right now for doing that. So it definitely wasn't a bad play, that's for sure. 17 more PS Plus extra premium games available now on PS5 and PS4. Let's see what we got. Respawn opens third studio to keep Apex Legends going. We'll read into that as well. What's up, dude? Oh, God, dude. Jesus. Who did they play last night, dude? What's up, brother? Who'd they play? It's been a rough year, huh? It's been a rough year. Dude, that's the way it felt for me last year with the Stars. Last year with the Stars, dude, Ottawa. Yeah. Last year with the Stars, it felt like every game they played, they'd have one decent period, and the other two periods, they were just struggling, dude. And we made the playoffs, but dude, it felt like it was by the skin of our teeth, man. And we just felt it looked like the entire year we looked old, we looked slow, and it was hard to watch, man. And barely made it into the playoffs. It was a rough season for me to watch last year. It just felt like every game was just like, come on, man, pick it up, man, come on, like what's wrong with you guys? So I don't know. This year's felt a lot better. We've gotten um, some guys into the mix, man, from our that we've built up in the system. Some young guys that have come through and really feels like they've put a spark into the system, and I think the veteran presence has done a lot of good in helping those guys learn the ropes and in getting into the you know the speed of the NHL game and stuff. So it's been nice. It's been a nice difference between last year and this year. But man, last year was brutal watching and sticking to. I don't know. So I feel that, dude. I'm sorry, man. What do we got? Like roughly 12 games left, 11 games left. Do you think you guys will be able to pull it off? How many points back? I mean, you guys are sitting right there in contention still. So for a wild card spot, right? So it's not like you're totally out yet. There are plenty of games left to for things to you know turn around. So who knows? We'll see what happens. Yeah. So we've already got this up. Got this up. Yep. Netflix is planning for 40 more game releases this year. Okay, that's the first we've heard. Last year was their first full year into their gaming venture, having gaming on their platform. And so last year they said we're going to have 50 games. 50 games we're going to have on our platform by the end of the year. And they basically hit it. I think it was January 4th of this year that they hit their 50th game. So, I mean, they were right there on par. 4 days late, but you can't really knock them for that. I mean, that's pretty good. And while it wasn't a whole lot of in-house development stuff, I feel like their business strategy there for implementing their initial dive into the gaming stuff wasn't too bad. They had a lot of notable games that they put on the platform. Things like Into the Breach and Oxenfree. And there's a whole slew of them, games that they brought over to their platform. And one of the other things that they tout is that you don't have to deal with ads in any of their games. You don't have to deal with microtransactions in any of their games. It's just you simply have to have a subscription to Netflix. That's it. What were we talking about Nintendo? You mean what was I talking about Nintendo? Because I had no kind of interaction with anybody else. You mean at the beginning of this? Is that what you're asking? Yeah. So the eShop is shutting down for the 3DS and the Wii U in like 6 days. So all the digital titles and all of that stuff is going bye bye, dude. Right. Yeah. And so there's a content creator on YouTube that went and spent like $23,000 or $24,000 on every single digital piece of content on that eShop and bought all of it. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. And I mean, from my point of view, it like outside of whether it was a ploy, put out like, what do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by that. The info pack for the game, like the new like Tears of the Kingdom. Remember the new Zelda game, right? The info pack. No, I don't know that I had necessarily seen that yet. I know that there's already a lot of info that came out because there was like some art books and stuff. People had already gotten a really good look at a lot of the content that was going to be in the game because there's a lot of it in like the art book that came out and stuff like that. But we'll try to see if we can find it, dude. Yeah, we'll see if we can find it. Yeah, I'll look it up in just a second. But basically, what I was talking about was, it's terrible that Nintendo does this in the first place. We've talked about that. These new eShops every time they do a new platform and they shut these eShops down. They put the official packet out. Okay. Yeah, cool. Thanks, man. I'll take a look. I'll take a look. You mean it's like did they like make it go gold? Is that what Oh, it has the DLC content in it? Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll take a look, dude. People were raging. Okay, dude. Yeah, let's take a look at it. We'll take a look at it, dude. That's funny. Yeah, let's see what's going on. So my big thing I was talking about was with the person that bought all the they bought every apparently they bought every single piece of digital content on that eShop. Yeah, they already have the DLC made, dude. I tell you guys all the time, this is not new, man. Companies have been doing this forever, right? I don't know why people are. Yeah, people are rightfully upset. Rightfully so, dude. You know, that upsets me too. But dude, it's been upsetting me forever. I've been talking about this for a long time. This is just another ploy. This is another thing I was talking about yesterday. It's like the monetization schemes that developers have come up with in order to suck money out of people. And people go, well, the price, you know, developers raising the price from $60 to $70. I've seen people. I've had to get into conversations with people because people have gone not even on the stream, outside of the stream. And people will go, well, the price of games hasn't really raised from 15 to 20 years. I'm like, you're out of your mind if you really believe that with the kinds of things they've done in the industry with monetization. And that DLC thing that you're talking about right there with Nintendo, what they're doing with Tears of the Kingdom, that's absolutely one of them. You know, I talk about it all the time. It's like games come out, and then a month and a half to 2 months later, they drop the DLC, and that DLC was ready whenever the game was released, right? It's a ploy for more money, man. Even though really that should have been part of the game. If that's content that was already ready when the game released, that should have been part of the game. It's a ploy for more money. But they're like, oh well, we haven't raised prices on games in 20 years, so we need to raise prices now. It's like, yeah, you have. You're getting it different ways. You're just not making people think about it like that, right? It's pretty gross, man. It's pretty gross. So I don't know. That person that bought all the Nintendo eShop stuff, though, my viewpoint on that is like, I see why, obviously Nintendo. That's why it's so gross that Nintendo does that kind of thing. It puts people into a position where they feel like they have to do that if they want to maintain a library of items that are just going to no longer be accessible, right? So for people that don't want to lose, especially collectors and stuff, they're going to buy as much of that stuff as they can. But at the same time, it's like feeding the beast. It's like it's a really, really scummy thing they do all the time. Instead of having one big platform where you can get all the content of anything they've ever had on a digital eShop, you know, they just get rid of all of it and put people in this position, like back people into a corner where it's like, hey, everything's going to go away. If you don't buy it, good luck getting access to it. So then people buy into it and then they're feeding the beast. So it's a really bad situation. We'll read this Netflix thing. Let's see if we can find this. That was a little bit. That's a month ago. Where did you see this at, dude? 'Cause, I mean, we'd already seen a lot of this kind of stuff, like may have confirmed, potentially revealed, well, the art book stuff. We'd seen a lot of that, but what exactly did you see? I mean, I can keep searching for it. I just didn't know exactly what like kind of keywords I need to be looking for there. I don't want you. I mean, if you're especially if you're busy right now, don't worry about. I'll find it, dude. I just didn't know if you had some keywords for me to look for. Yeah, so the whole Zack Snyder thing, we read about this yesterday. So Zack Snyder's new Netflix show Rebel Moon, which is supposed to be coming out in December on Netflix, is apparently already lined up to get an adaptation for the video gaming world, a video game adaptation. And we covered it yesterday, so if you want more of a look, then go check out yesterday's video gaming news segment on YouTube. That would be March 20th. But it is that's about all there is for it right now. There's no real info. I mean, what I'm telling you now is about what you're gonna get. It's we I mean we haven't even really seen much about Rebel Moon yet, so we don't really know exactly, you know, everything that the show's gonna entail. And it's just there's been a bit of a drop from Zack Snyder saying, yeah, there's a game. That's about it. So we don't have more than that right now. Interesting. So Ubidus and Google Cloud announces a strategic partnership, huh? If you don't know, Ubidus is the latest company in Microsoft's push to get the Activision Blizzard acquisition completed. They've been throwing out these 10-year deals and everything. Um, I mean, they're doing what they have to do. I mean, they've been getting trolled a little bit about it, but look, Microsoft's doing what they have to do to get this thing done. Um, if that means that they've got to push out a bunch of 10-year deals to get it completed, that's what they're going to do. It's still going to be lucrative for the next 10 years, not as much as it would have been, but after that 10 years is up, it's going to be, they're going to be in a really good spot, even better than they will be after the initial acquisition. So it's not a bad thing. But Ubidus is the latest one to get a 10-year fine or a 10-year deal from Microsoft in, you know, as long as the acquisition comes to fruition, right? So now Ubidus and Google are getting a partnership going too. That's kind of interesting because Google is the main Google and Apple are the main competitors to Microsoft also, and where Microsoft is trying to go with an app store. So, man, there's a lot of ins and outs to this situation. It's kind of wild. What is this, dude? British Columbia parents file proposed class action lawsuit against Epic. What? Bro. Yeah. I think we've already kind of hit on this. So basically, there's in British Columbia, there's some parents they're taking Epic to court, saying that Fortnite, which they're the developer of, is designed to be as addictive as possible for children. One second. So I don't know, dude. If this is actually kind of a an this is a bit of a weird situation, I think, to come at a developer for. I don't know if any developer is trying to develop a game that doesn't grab hold of people and want them to keep coming back. That's the point. Video games, right? Especially nowadays in video games, with how big the industry is and how polluted it is with so many different um, games and uh, in their respective genres. I mean, it is it. There are so many different titles for people to access and try, and everybody's trying to find that uniqueness that appeals to people to keep bringing them in and keep them wanting to play it. Whether you want to call that making it addictive or, making that, the more appealing title, I think that it's a hard thing to label this as. I find it a little bit odd that people are going to be able to come after a developer for making their game as addictive as possible. Developers are always trying to outdo each other to come up with uniqueness in their titles to pull people in and keep them in. That's how you thrive and survive in the video game industry. If you're not making a game that appeals more than other titles, you sink. That's that's the way the competition works in the industry. But you're going to have people come in and go, "Oh, well, you know, you shouldn't be doing that because it's too appealing to my kids." See, this is like um I don't agree with this being something that should be happening, man. Anything in life can be consumed in excess, right? I think that's an important thing for everybody, from children to for adults to teach children, and for adults themselves to understand that maybe haven't been able to grasp this concept as they've matured from kids into adults. Is that anything in life can be consumed in excess? It can anything in life can be consumed in a way that can be bad for you if you aren't taking care of your other responsibilities in life, right? And so I think what this comes down to is like parents need to ensure that they're doing their job and making sure that's something that is being taught to children, right? Not just constantly letting your kids you know, play games. I mean, this is that's part of parenting, dude. Dude, I sit here and play games all day long. I mean, this is what I do for my job right now. I talk about games, I play video games and stuff. But there's definitely a situation where you have to take into consideration that moderation needs to be taken into consideration, whether it be video games or alcohol consumption, substance consumption. That is, you know, any kind of entertainment, watch it. It can be anything, man. And so I mean, what's next? Um, if so, in bringing that up, so if parents can come at Fortnite and bring a lawsuit saying that they made this game as addictive as possible, this is unacceptable. Then what's keeping people from taking like alcohol companies and going, you made this alcohol as addictive as possible, and you know, I got addicted to it, and you made it addictive as possible. Therefore, I got addicted, and I'm going to, it's like where where does it stop, man? I mean, people, this is, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they're talking about children here, which is a bit different. Their children have impressionable minds and things like that. But that's where also parenting comes into play, man. Parents need to quit projecting, I think, a lot of the responsibility for taking care where their responsibility needs to lie in ensuring that you know their children understand that yes, video games are fun and they can be addictive, you know what I mean, to an extent. There are other things in life that have to be taken care of too, and limit that game time or whatever, so they understand where. I mean, it is absolutely a thing that can and you should be taken care of. I mean, these are lessons, man. It's not. This is the way the video game industry works. You're always trying to outdo your competitors. You're trying to make something more fun, more appealing than the other developer that's your competitor. So to have parents coming in and saying, "Oh well, we're going to sue you for making your games stand out above everybody else, more addictive." That's asinine to me. That doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. I don't agree. I don't agree. God. I also think I can't help but think that a big part of that is just people are always trying to find ways to sue one another or sue businesses for easy money. They just try to find ways to sue and collect. That's like this mindset that the world's gotten into nowadays, and it's absolutely disgusting. You know, instead of just you know it's so weird that I see it all the time. I don't understand. Ubisoft reveals Netflix exclusive game Mighty Quest. See what that is. Twitch has laid off over 400 employees. Hmm. That's not necessarily gaming, but that is the platform we're on. So let's take a look. Interesting. So Twitch changes the revenue split, right, for content creators from, what was it, 70/30 to 50/50, right? So they changed the revenue split on subs. I haven't talked about this yet. And you know, it's being an IT individual myself, I have different ways of thinking about this, and so it hasn't been as big of an issue for me as maybe some other people. So that's why I haven't really brought it up. But the fact that they've done this, they've gone from this like 70/30 split to a 50/50 split for all content creators on subs, and now they're like laying off employees too, even though they've like just implemented this method to make more money off of all the content creators on their platform too. Hmm, that's a look. Xbox Live Gold subscribers surprised with free RPG. Yeah, we already knew that. We've talked about this. Yeah, Dying Light 2 is verified on Steam Deck now. If you don't know what that means, verified on Steam Deck means it's optimized for that device, right? So, um, doesn't mean that games that are not verified cannot be played on the Steam Deck. It just means there might be a little bit of jankiness to them when you play them, a little bit of wonky stuff because they're just not optimized yet, you know. So, uh, Dying Light 2 is now optimized for Steam Deck, so it should play very well on that device. Yesterday kicked off GDC. Yeah, so we should start seeing some stuff come out in the news about GDC, Game Developers Conference. So that runs all the way through Thursday. We've also Wednesday night. Wednesday night we've got the Future Game Show happening at 5 p.m. CST. That's 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Uh, Pacific time. So it'll probably be about almost a 12-hour stream for us that day. We'll go news in the morning as always. We'll play games all day, and then we'll end the stream with watching the Future Game Show together. Okay. Look at our other search. See what else we can find. We've already got the Netflix stuff up. Talked about the Zack Snyder stuff. Um, mm, here's an article. Man, the importance of quality assurance in video game porting. Wow, wow. Yeah, let's take a read into that. I'm going to take this even a step further, probably, and say that what they're going to talk about is like porting, and I find it actually kind of gross that quite often we end up getting ports one way or the other for whatever platform. We get ports for games that are announced to be releasing on um, numerous platforms, right? Um, so whether a game is announced, you get games that get announced to be releasing on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC, whatever. In my opinion, those games should be developed and optimized for those platforms before they're released, not just ported and have some QA done on them beforehand. Um, so yeah, is that does that cost more time and money and resources to get that done? Absolutely, but there is a horrible trend in the industry about developing games for specific in the development process. They just focused. It's quite obvious that developers are in this process of focusing down on developing a piece of software, a game for specific platforms, and then at some point before release, they go, "Okay, we've got it done for these platforms. Let's port it over. Let's port it over," and they do literally no QA on it or anything like that, and then it just comes out a hot flipping mess, and it'll feel really good on those platforms that they developed it for in the first place with a focus on, and then those platforms that they ported it over to, it feels absolutely terrible. And that's not fair, and it shouldn't have ever been released on the platforms that it got ported to anyways, because it wasn't developed specifically for those. Kayla, what's up? We'll read about this. Happy Tuesday, friendo. Yeah, we read about this yesterday too. If you're interested, look at yesterday's news segment on YouTube. Lego teasing a new racing game. We kind of saw that. It's pretty neat. Looks pretty cool. I think people could really dig that. We've seen a lot of stuff about Chia. If you don't know what it is, Chia is it's a very vibrant, pretty world. It's kind of an open world environment, but it's like set really in a island esque kind of environment. Lots of water, and then you've got the islands, and you're going exploring. And Chia, it's a very cute game. It's cute. Chia has the ability to kind of what do they call it, like soul travel or something like that, where Chia can like basically um, put her soul into other objects and animals and stuff, and utilize them for different forms of traveling around and stuff like that. And it looks like a cool little game. Looks like a cool little fantasy exploration type of game. Looks pretty neat. You got like a raft and stuff you use in the game, and we've seen a lot about it. So I'm not going to dive into that. But if that sounds like something up your alley, you might check out Chia. Tchia. Pretty cute looking little game. We've talked a lot about that right now. I'm not going to dive back into this until we get some more on that front. And I really don't think we're going to get a lot more popping off on this until Microsoft finishes with the Activision Blizzard deal. But they are prepping to get their like app store set up and everything. So we'll see how it goes. Whatever. Sonic Frontier is getting a free update this week. See what that will include. Wait, what? What? What is this? I'm sorry, Kayla. I don't want you to be there either. Does that help? Probably not, but really. So Netflix is implementing a tier. It looks like Netflix is implementing a tier of subscription service that has ads in it, just like many other subscription services is what they're talking about there. It looks like so. Um, they've touted their entire game. The reason I want to bring that up is because I didn't know that was being rolled out yet, but it looks like it is. Um, that's at least what I gathered out of that quick little article there. All right, guys. Okay. Yeah. So I think what's interesting here is their gaming lineup has been touted as like no ads, no monetization, anything like that in them, right? So with this new tier that Netflix is apparently rolling out of a lower price point for a subscription service that is going to have ads in it, will that mean that there are going to be ads in the games as well for that tier of subscription? That's something we're going to have to find out. Yeah, this was pretty bad. We talked about this. This is something I talk about a lot, which is really terrible. You know, um, I think the relationship between us as the consumer and lovers of video games and the developers is something that is important, and it has. I think that relationship has had a lot of things over the years that have really hurt. There are a lot of things that have happened that have hurt that relationship, and from both sides, if you take into consideration all the things that have come through the development process of games being hyped up and us getting kind of duped into buying them, the games being trash, that hurts people. It makes us feel jaded as the consumer and as video game lovers. And then on the other side, you get developers in situations where they want to have open lines of communication, and they try to get that done. And then you have, and don't get me wrong, I think this is a small amount of people that engage in these kinds of um, acts, but nonetheless, it is something that happens that is unacceptable, and it unfortunately it affects all of us, because you have things like this where the Rust developer canceled an event in San Francisco. They were trying to set up for developers to meet up with fan base and stuff at like a coffee shop there, and I mean just have like a cool little meetup and talk and an in person kind of thing, and they got a bunch of death threats, and it's like it's just so unfortunate that there's this small population, and I really do think it's a small population of people that are just unstable. They don't live in a you know the same. I think a delicate way to put it is the same reality that many of the rest of us do. They think it's their prerogative to take things to a an unacceptable level in regards to developers, just because they're upset about something that happened within a video game that they play. Um, so they go to unacceptable measures such as showing up at people's workplace, or the development studio, or they find out that an actual individual that works on a specific part of a game for a developer, and they show up at their residence by data mining them and getting their address, and things of that nature, which is absolutely unacceptable. That is how scary would that be, and um ultimately, all the way around, what that does is it hurts the relationship of what we try to build between ourselves and the developer, and trying to have open lines of communication, and the developer feeling comfortable enough to give us like roadmaps, and wanting feedback, and trying to give us things in the games that we want. They want to shut down lines of communication because they don't feel like they can open those up without getting terrible things like death threats happening and stuff. It's just absolutely terrible. It's disgusting. I don't know where people get off thinking that this is okay. You know, it's terrible. It sucks, and feels bad that for both sides of this, there's like probably one or two individuals that came up with this plan to ruin this event for so many people that were looking forward to it, both from the developer standpoint, and from the fan base. the player base standpoint, and that's all it takes. Just a couple of terrible individuals to just ruin the whole thing. You know, and it sucks. Yeah, we've already kind of read about Spider-Man 2 having cool dialogue technology. That's going to be something totally new for the Insomniacs. I think games. I don't think they've ever had anything like that in their games at all, and especially for the Spider-Man games, there's going to be more of the dialogue matters kind of thing happening. Choices matter, story rich kind of aspect to the gameplay. It'll have an effect on the story and stuff like that, apparently. So that's going to be very cool to see how that plays out. What is this? Bro, I don't know what to think about this game. We keep getting like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. There's like criticism after criticism about this game, and it's being delayed numerous times now. And then it's like, now we get promising new details. So I don't know. Let's see what they got for us. D4 patch attempts to exercise the game's demons. For all the people that are playing the beta, that'll be interesting. So we'll pull that up. Yeah, look again. The Fortnite lawsuit. If you're not aware, Fortnite did get fined by the Federal Trade Commission for having some what were considered to be kind of scummy mechanics for purchasing things in the game. So in the past, that's not necessarily the case anymore. But in the past, they did not have a lot of safeguards up for um, purchases, whether it be like a misclick, and all of a sudden it's like if you had an account that had any kind of um, like credit card tied to it or anything. It was like a misclick, just one button. It was like, boom, you bought this. And it was like, geez, dude, I didn't mean to do that. But it's like you couldn't really get the refund or anything very easily. Or it could have been just kids that got onto your account and just could buy things, all kinds of stuff, which, to me, it's like, do a better job of making sure your kids don't do crap like that. But crap happens, stuff happens, dude. So there was a lot of different things that FTC finally came to a decision on in regards to the Fortnite stuff. It said 250 million is your lawsuit. Roughly, I think it was 245, something like that. So anybody that feels like they should be entitled to a refund, there's a website set up on the FTC's site for you to request some kind of refund, right? Because the fine I think that Epic is having to pay, or Riot is having to pay, excuse me, or Epic, yeah, it is Epic. My bad, Epic. That is having to pay. It has to be paid, I think, within the next couple of weeks. And at that point, people are going to start getting refunds for money that they've put in for that they felt like they shouldn't have had to pay for the game and stuff like that. So if you're interested, it's out there for you. All right. What is this? Okay, I'll touch on it real quick. Let's see. Let's get into this. These will be our articles for today. For March 21st edition of Video Gaming News, Diablo 4 patch attempts to exorcise the game's demons. Lilith, dude, so spicy, you know? Yeah. Diablo 4's early access beta test has been overshadowed by technical issues, to which Blizzard has responded with an important hotfix. I mean, did anybody expect to be playing Diablo 4 and not have technical issues? It's Blizzard, man. The Diablo 4 hotfix has been publicized on Blizzard, and that's part of a beta too. I mean, let's be very clear here. So betas are set up to get people to test the game on a very high level. In order to get feedback, help test the game to a great extent, stress test things, and really do the very best they can to polish this up before the final release, right, which is coming in June. So we're talking 3 months, and this is what this is about. So I don't ever expect to go into a beta and not have some kinds of issues. You want the game to feel pretty good, but that's the whole point in the beta. So the hotfix has been publicized on Blizzard's official forums and contains updates to improve server stability issues targeted at fixing and improving the queue issues console players have reported since the early access launch. Community manager Filtheric said, "Thank everyone for taking the time to play, provide feedback, and share your experiences with us. The latest hotfix comes in the wake of numerous successive server hotfixes and is the latest effort on Blizzard's part to bring stability to their beta servers. These problems have been especially prevalent on consoles, with folks on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X and S having a harder time logging in than their PC counterparts. Long queues and server instability aren't the only issues that players have been experiencing over the course of the early access beta. In an earlier post from the community manager Pez Radar, it was noted that players are sometimes unable to join a party with other players while in game. Other potential issues include rubber banding occurring while players are transitioning between zones, and high RAM and GPU usage occurring on select hardware." It's good that they're getting that kind of information. D4's open beta will be available again on March 24th. So the isometrics RPG server infrastructure is soon to come under pressure once again. This will be the open beta this time. So this previous beta was mainly for people who had pre-ordered the game, right? This beta coming up this weekend is for more of an open access. Available to anyone who pre-purchases the title and gives participants the opportunity to earn special rewards when the game is properly launched in June. We can but hope that hotfixes and patches will be enough to give beta testers a smoother ride this time around. Again, I mean, this is why you play a beta, though. A lot of people there. That's why you should be playing a beta. There are a lot of people that play a beta just to play a game because they're hyped about it. But ultimately, there are a lot. The aim at a beta is to get people in to test the game and help provide feedback so that the developer can get things smoothed out, man. Polish it up. This is what the process is about. The last mainline Diablo title, Diablo 3, is over a decade old. Just like saying, don't rant in my head. Though Diablo Immortal attempted to fill the gap, the title's heavy use of microtransactions and lackluster campaign left a foul taste in players' mouths. So did 3 on release. Let's be honest here. Diablo 3 was not a great release either. It was pretty. Meh. They ended up turning it into something decent, I think, but I was just done after I experienced what it was on release. I was like, this is not Diablo. Given the drought fulfilling Diablo content that fans have had to endure, Diablo 4 finds itself shouldering the expectations in a big way. Early signs look promising. Diablo 4 may be shaping up to the series' best yet, though the final product is still a way off. It is my hope that Diablo 4's beta process will give Blizzard the opportunity to fix the game's problems in advance of the launch in June. After all, beta tests are just that, tests. Thank you. Exactly. Yes. Absolutely. I mean, anybody that hung out and watched me play, what is it? Once Human here recently. You know, we played Once Human beta in February, and there were plenty of issues in that game, but the game felt great too. There was plenty in that game that was amazing. I am actually really, really stoked to play that game on release. Once Human, dude, it checks a lot of boxes for me, even with the issues the beta had. And again, the way I look at a beta is I'm given the opportunity to help a developer out and trying to see what some of the bigger issues are so that they can really get the game fleshed out, polished up, and at a really good state for the release, the final release. That said, though the developer has ample opportunity to learn from these early access issues, we still don't know if Blizzard will stick the landing come launch day. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Despite some of the problems with server stability being pretty significant, it's worth remembering that Diablo 4's launch is still several months away on June 6th. Yep. These sorts of beta programs are excellent opportunities for game developers to catch these sorts of teething problems before their product hits the shelves. Yeah. Let's be honest, though, here. Look, Blizzard has never, I mean, they've traditionally had some issues with launches, right? We even saw it with their, Overwatch 2, right? Oh, they're going to talk about it, my bad. From a World of Warcraft Shadowlands to Overwatch 2, server instability and long queues aren't unheard of when it comes to releases of Blizzard. It's exactly what I was getting ready to talk about, with significant online elements. That said, just because these problems are par for the course doesn't mean they're not frustrating, for sure. Overwatch 2 had 30,000 queues on launch with 3 to 4 wait hours. Sometimes it's best to err on the side of caution when it comes to Blizzard releases. Absolutely. However, it may well be that Diablo 4 is teething problems which give Blizzard the opportunity it needs to put together a smoother launch experience this time around. One would hope. One would hope that there are lessons learned. The beta is giving them plenty of data and information to go off of to get this in a good state for release. I mean, look, this is a highly anticipated title, you know? And I think that anybody going into this thinking that there aren't going to be any queues at all on D4's release is probably a little bit short sighted. Um, I would expect there to be some queues, but you don't want those queues to be anything significant, you know? Um, knowing it's Blizzard, knowing Blizzard has had issues with this kind of thing in the past, just hope that they're minimal. You know, I mean, I think if you have to deal with queues and they're minimal, that's a win. I think you know. So let's just hope that if there are queues, they're small queues, they're short queues, and I think at that point, most people are just going to be like, okay, that's going to be okay. Arctic 7 evolves within and beyond gaming after 2 studio acquisitions. I'm not real familiar with Arctic 7, but game development company Arctic 7 has today announced the acquisition of Norwal Studios and Starfort Games. The 2 acquisitions represent a sizable evolution in Arctic 7's capability, introducing a plethora of experience from some of the leading creatives in both the video game development and virtual production space. The acquisition of LA-based Narwhal Studios marks Arctic 7's first expansion into virtual production, further advancing their capacity when delivering top-level entertainment and experiences through immersive content. With film and TV virtual production being Narwhal Studios' specialty, their acquisition additionally broadens Arctic 7's scope beyond just video games. Similarly, Arctic 7 will be expanding its video game development foundations with the acquisition of Ottawa-based Starfort Games, helping to cement Arctic 7's experience in the games industry and expanding their reach and studio capabilities to Canada. With studios based in Austin, Montenegro, and now Los Angeles and Ottawa, Arctic 7 has continued where they left off last year. The company now has more than 100 people across the world collaborating together to inspire, going above and beyond, and delivering exceptional entertainment with heart and depth. That's really it. The rest is just quotes about your normal, standard run of the mill quotes about any kind of situation like this from some of the top of the company there about how excited they are to take on this new you know, part of their business moving forward to have these companies be a part and know what they're going to be able to do, and but it doesn't talk about any kind of specific software they're working on or anything like that. So if you want to read more of it, though, I mean, by all means, here it is. Take a look. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League report shares promising new details. I don't know what to think. I mean, I'm scared of this game. Rocksteady Studios' upcoming game Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has received some promising new information via a recent report. Over the past couple of weeks, Suicide Squad has been getting pretty much nothing but bad news. Not only did the game's recent presentation at PlayStation's State of Play event lead to complaints and concerns from fans, but WB Games is also reportedly planning to delay the project potentially into 2024 soon enough. Despite all of this, though, it sounds like those who have already played Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League for themselves are finding it to be quite enjoyable. During a recent discussion on the latest episode of VGC Podcast, host Andy Robinson shared that he has heard about some positive buzz from Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League based on internal playtesting. This is your keyword, though, okay? Robinson said that compared to Gotham Knights, which is the latest DC project that WB Games released last year, the response to Suicide Squad has been optimistic from those that have been working on it. It's interesting, quote, it's interesting because some of the people I've spoken to who are working on that game actually have a lot of positive things to say about it. I can't keep going with this. Look, man. Look. I'm sorry, but would you expect an article to come out and for, people internal to the company go, I'm not real excited about this, you know? I'm not gonna put any stock in it. I'm not even gonna finish reading the rest of this. All right, it's like, yeah, okay, cool. I mean, you would hope that people are excited about the software they're working on. Does that mean that other people will enjoy it? Not necessarily, because, I mean, do you think that people that were working on Gotham Knights weren't excited about Gotham Knights? No. I guarantee you there were a good amount of people in WB Studios working on Gotham Knights that were excited about Gotham Knights. And that game ended up being pretty brutal, from what I understand. So just because people that are internal to the company are excited about the game, are having some fun with the game, from what they're saying, this seems more like a promotional thing than it does anything else to me. These are comments coming out from basically people internal to the development of the game. These aren't anything that we can rely on to be unbiased opinions of what the gameplay experience is. So that's why I don't feel that you can actually put any kind of stock in this at all. I mean, at the very least, you can say that good. It seems like there are people that are working on the game that are passionate about it and they seem to enjoy it. But I just can't put stock into it when how would you expect people to come out and be vocal about, I'm working on this game for WB and it feels like trash. Nobody's gonna say that, so I'm not. You just can't, dude. Ubisoft reveals Netflix exclusive game Mighty Quest Rogue Palace. Besides Ubisoft, Netflix is also working on an unannounced game with Us Two and Super Evil Megacorp. Ubisoft has revealed Mighty Quest Rogue Palace, the first of 3 games that the studio will be making with Netflix. Announced yesterday, Mighty Quest Rogue Palace will take place in the same universe as Ubisoft's free 2015 game, The Mighty Quest for Epic Loot. Set to launch for Netflix Games' mobile app on April 18th, Mighty Quest Rogue Palace has been developed by Ubisoft's Paris team. The first trailer for Mighty Quest Rogue Palace features Hades-style isometric combat, hints at a treasure hunt that's gone wrong. Speaking to press, ETN? Yeah, I'll probably butcher
Now that we're friends again, is it okay if I pet you?
Bro. Thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. What's up, buddy? Thanks, Ferret.
Theferret7 just resubscribed for 4 months.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you, buddy. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, dude? What are you doing, man? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, you legend. What's up, man? What are you doing? Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Very, very, very kind of you. Speaking to the press, Etienne Tardieu, just working? Word, buddy. You grind, dude. You keep grinding. Who leads mobile business and distribution at Ubisoft, said the game will feature an innovative meta layer. It's a meta sandwich, bro. What? I do. Have you guys seen here lately? There was an interview with this personality. This personality that had been building a name for themselves off of woke culture, right? The wokeness. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. And then in an interview on like national TV, somebody this interviewer was like, "Can you please explain to us exactly what woke is?" And they couldn't. And the internet lit them up. Who is this individual? I can't even remember her name right now. But dude, it is like meme Christmas, dude, out there for this individual that like has built this name for themselves about, woke culture, and they couldn't even explain what woke is. It was so fun. That's what I feel like meta is to a lot of developers. They all want to throw out this term meta or metaverse, but most of them don't even have any kind of definition as to what that means for them or their company in the development process, as to what that is new that they're bringing to the table for us as the consumer or the video game player, because it's nothing new. It's just a trendy keyword, and I find it hilarious whenever I see this kind of. The game will feature an innovative meta layer, with some Grey Poupon to help make the roguelike genre more approachable to players. Give me a break, dude. Leanne Loom, Vice President of External Games at Netflix, added that Mighty Quest Rogue Palace will feature an improved formula, deepened narrative, and upgraded frantic action gameplay. Elsewhere, London-based developer Us2 will be bringing its Monument Valley series to Netflix games and teased an unannounced collaboration that's in the works. Us2 made its Netflix debut last year, launching strategy roguelike Dust of the Memories Between in September. As part of the press roundtable, Maria Sands, Us2 CEO, revealed that the studio appreciated Netflix's strength as a publisher and pointed to its localization efforts for Desta's launch across the world. NME gave Desta 4 stars out of 5 in our review, praising the game as a touching message about finding the right words. Finally, Netflix has announced that Super Evil Megacorp, what a great name, dude, the developer behind Vainglory and Catalyst Black, is creating a game based on a new unannounced Netflix IP. While the game is in early development, Super Evil CEO Christian, Segerstrel has teased that it will be set in the same universe as a film or series that the streaming company is yet to release. Yeah, could it be the Zack Snyder thing for Rebel Moon? Could be. We read about that yesterday. Okay, cool. If you need more out of that, I'll link it for you. Twitch has laid off over 400 employees. That's a fifth of its workforce. To say times are tough and the job market is an understatement, to say the least, with stagnating wages in many industries, as well as the constantly rising cost of essentials. Whether you work in retail, tech, or industrial, things are tough for the average worker. This is especially true with the lack of stability within the tech industry specifically. Tech giants such as Microsoft, Google, and Meta are all making massive cuts to their workforce in order to preserve profits for their shareholders. It appears that streaming giant Twitch is the next company that will be cutting jobs within the tech industry. Again, this isn't necessarily gaming, but this is absolutely the platform that we are on right now, right? So let's talk about this. In a blog post on Twitch's official site, it was revealed that 400 jobs have been cut from the streaming giant's workforce. Details are scarce in terms of what departments of Twitch were affected by these layoffs. Twitch CEO Dan Clancy had this to say about the layoffs. Like many companies, our business has been impacted by the current macroeconomic environment, and user and revenue growth has not kept pace with our expectations. In order to run our business sustainably, we've made the very difficult decision to shrink the size of our workforce. Clancy has only just taken over the CEO position of Twitch this past week, as the former founder and CEO Emmett Shear stepped down from the role late last week. Layoff will cut just around 1/5 of Twitch's workforce. Coincidence? We've got some things to discuss here. Oh, dude, look, this is crazy, man. These layoffs come off a record-breaking 2022 for both Twitch and its parent company, Amazon. Twitch hauled in a record amount of revenue in 2022 with just over $2.8 billion in revenue. While Amazon, the parent company of Twitch, hauled in just over $149 billion just in the fourth quarter of 2022 alone. This isn't the only move by Twitch to carve more money out of their employees and community. In 2022, the company reworked its revenue split with its content creators from a 70-30 revenue split, that's what I was talking about earlier, to a massively adjusted 50-50 split. So if you subscribe to your favorite streamer for $5, Twitch takes $2.50 of that automatically. This was met with backlash from creators and viewers alike, but unfortunately, Twitch never addressed this issue publicly. This revenue split caused an exodus of big-name streamers who opted to pursue a partnership with YouTube instead. Streaming space is only going to get more competitive with massive sites like YouTube as well as independent streaming sites like Kick, all fighting for a piece of the pie, laying off staff whose work likely affects the quality of the site's performance as well as moderation is likely a mistake. One would think that all the layoffs at Twitter, which have caused the site massive technical issues alongside content moderation concerns that have driven off the many big-name advertisers, these problems could very well be Twitch's problem if they continue to go down this path. Only time will tell how these layoffs will affect the overall health of the site. This is great. They have numbers in here too. So let's discuss this. Now that I have even more information on this, so whenever I first saw this pulled up, whenever we first saw this article this morning, I said, one of the things I talked about that first came to mind was this revenue split that Twitch felt like they needed to make from taking a 70-30 split of revenue from content creators on this platform to the 50-50 split, right? And just without knowing any of their revenue numbers or anything like that, it was like, it's kind of wild that last year, at the end of the year, I'm pretty sure, is whenever this took place, and they felt like they needed to adjust the revenue split. So they're making more money off of all the content creators on their site, and now they need to lay off 1/5 of their workforce. So, look, don't get me wrong. There's always a need for companies to be doing performance reviews, making sure that they are getting rid of people that are not pulling their weight, right? That is absolutely part of sustaining a successful business. If you've employed people that are not producing, then they need to be trimmed. They need to be gotten rid of. If they're not doing their job, and they're not helping the business thrive and succeed, what are they doing there, right? But this is different. And I said this whenever we saw all the other layoffs in the tech industry and the gaming industry. There's a difference between continual, a business taking a continual look at the performance appraisal process for employees and making sure that people are holding up their end of what their job is, so that they are making, they're being paid for doing a job and they're doing the job that they're being paid for. If that's not the case, they need to get out, and that's what a job is supposed to be doing. But there's a difference here. This is not what this is, and that's a lot of what's been happening in the tech industry and the gaming industry. We've seen plenty of businesses that have just been very, very profitable, that have been like, oh, well, we're just going to cut a bunch of jobs anyways. You know, they've made a ton of money over the past year, and they've gone ahead and just cut a significant part of their workforce. And it does not, in my opinion, seem like something that has anything to do with a performance appraisal process. These are mass quantity job layoffs where they just found a large number of roles that they felt like they could do away with and still get the job done. And this is no exception here. Twitch, this is exactly what this seems like from Twitch as well, especially after seeing these numbers. So, not only, did it already look bad enough that Twitch laid off 400, a fifth of their workforce, after also adjusting this revenue split from 70-30 to a 50-50 split. And it was like, okay, wait, you're making 20% more money off of all the, content creators on your site than you were before, but you still need to cut 400 jobs. Now we know that they hauled in a record amount of revenue last year at $2.8 billion, and they still needed to get rid of 400 jobs. They thought they needed to get rid of 400 jobs anyways. And here's another thing that, we saw this past week in the news that their founder and former, at this point, CEO Emmett Shear stepped down, stating, like family reasons, like basically wanted to focus on family and raise, helping be around kids more often and stuff. But now that all this has come out, I wonder how much of this, the statement about the family and stuff was to save face, and it didn't actually have to do with the fact that maybe Emmett was against what has been happening at Twitch, and was feeling the pressure by a lot of other people because it wasn't the popular opinion, and finally just decided to be like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. Because I have an inkling that that was probably the case. It seems a bit too convenient that Mr. Shear ends up stepping down at the same exact time that all of this other stuff is happening. So, gut feeling here for me is that probably Mr. Emmett Shear here probably had some kind of disdain for even the revenue split stuff, and I could be wrong, but the revenue split stuff, and then the mass layoffs and everything, and had just maybe had enough of it. This is pretty gross, though. This is pretty disgusting. Honestly, worrisome too. Oh. I would love to talk to this individual. I doubt that I doubt it would do any good, even if that is the actual reason. Getting Mr. Emmett Shear to divulge that, it probably wouldn't happen. But that's a weird situation, is it not? Xbox Live Gold subscribers surprised with free RPG. Xbox Live Gold subscribers on Xbox One Series S and X have been surprised with a new free RPG courtesy of Games with Gold. In addition to March's free Xbox Live Gold games, Gold subscribers have an extra free game this month courtesy of Xbox GWG Korea. And you don't need to have a Korean account to change your region to download it. You should be able to just log into your account and use the link below provided by Wario64 to claim and download it. That said, like every free game offered up through Games with Gold, this is a limited time offer and requires an active subscription to play. If your subscription lapses, you will lose access to the title Astria Ascending. Developed by Artisan Studios, published by Dear Villagers, Astria Ascending, debuted back in September of 2021 via PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S, and X. Upon release, it garnered slightly underwhelming reviews, with Metacritic scores ranging from 62 to 68, depending on the platform. The user reviews for the game are even more underwhelming, though. On Steam, the game boasts a mixed user review rating, with only 54% of 199 user reviews rating the game positively. Across both critic and consumer reviews, the positives seem to be the game's art, animation work, and unique design. However, not everyone likes the game's unique design. Combine this with substantial story criticisms and random game-breaking issues, and many suggest the JRPG is worth passing on. Explore a vast world on the brink of chaos, and a mature, emotional JRPG, reads an official elevator pitch of the JRPG. Experience an epic story with rewarding turn-based combat and expansive customization rendered in glorious 4K hand-drawn visuals. Take a look.
This is our world, or canon. It is a world gifted with magnificent and generous nature, albeit sometimes harsh. Besides ourselves, the Marios, our canon is home to the Pesca, the Zephs, the Arctons, and the Oasis.
I like the art style.
We must not forget the Migmies. The Migmies bring our people together and carry around crates containing an essential ingredient for our society. This ingredient is called a harmelin. The harmony between our people depends on it. And last but not least, let me tell you about us. We are the demigods. Our mission is to fight and defeat the noises, the mysterious monsters that threaten our beautiful harmony. The demigods will not allow anyone to disrupt our canon's harmony.
Otsukaresama.
Demigods, ascend!
Okay. Yeah, again, you're probably not going to be blown away by this. It's got some pretty, like, subpar, you know. It's not like, it's not going to be the worst game you've ever played, but like 60s on Metacritic, you know, you're not going to be blown away by this. For more coverage on all things Xbox, yeah. But there you go. If you want more out of it here. The importance of quality assurance in video game porting. Game porting has become an increasingly popular trend in video game industry. With the rise of cross-platform gaming and the potential for increased revenue, many companies are looking to expand their reach by bringing their games to new platforms. One such example is Sony, which estimates that its PC game sales will jump 375% over 2023. While porting can be a great way to increase the availability of a game, it can also be a challenging process that requires careful attention to detail. Or it should. One crucial aspect of video game porting is quality assurance. QA refers to the process of testing a game to ensure that it meets certain standards for functionality, usability, and overall quality. Without effective QA, a ported game may be plagued with bugs, glitches, and other issues that can detract from the player experience, like performance being terrible. In this article, we will explore the importance of quality assurance in video game porting companies, discuss some of the common challenges that game developers face when porting games to different platforms, as well as some of the strategies can be used to ensure a successful porting process. We'll also examine the role that QA plays in the overall porting process and why it is essential for ensuring that a ported game meets the expectations of players. Quality assurance is testing. That's what it is. Key elements of quality assurance in video game development. Several key elements of quality assurance that are particularly important in video game development, including testing, documentation, communication, and attention to detail. Here's the other thing, though. Even if you have a QA department that does all of these things very well, because obviously the testing process needs to be thorough, through the thorough testing process, documenting everything in a very good way, to get that kind of information, not only to retain it for yourself, but to be able to disseminate it to the people that need to make adjustments to the product to address the issues. That documentation is important. Communication, right? To effectively communicate what is going on with throughout the documentation of what you have found in the testing process to the individuals that need to address what needs to be adjusted and fixed, right? And attention to detail is a huge one, right? Because again, like it says right here, small issues can have a significant impact on player experience. Being good at seeing anything that could potentially be viewed by any kind of player as an issue, small to large, is something that should be brought up. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be fixed or adjusted in the game, but showing it as something that you see as a tester as something that could potentially be seen in the eyes of any game player as an issue, right? It gives the developer, the other people working on the game, the opportunity to address it, right? Even if you have a very, very good process in regards to these items, if you don't have other people in the process of the project development that listen to you, it's all for naught. So I find it hard to believe that all of the issues that we find nowadays with video game porting, because it is very, very popular, you know, solely lies on QA. Obviously, QA is a huge, huge, huge part of video game porting being done correctly and being done very well. But if you don't have other parts of the company listening and really taking into consideration what QA is finding and bringing to the table for you to try and implement and fix things, what's the point? What's it matter, right? And people would go, well, why wouldn't they listen to QA? Time, money. There are a lot of reasons why developers, development companies would just overlook a lot of this stuff because they go, it's too late. We don't have time. We'll fix it afterwards. Well, things like that. And that's a terrible, terrible mindset. Yeah, so assurance, QA in video games, and the importance results in ensuring game stability, improving user experience, meeting player expectations, and protecting the developer's reputation. I mean, look, you guys hear me ranting about developers all the time that I at one point loved and have gotten to the point where I either won't play their games at all anymore. Blizzard, not all of Blizzard has to do with bad video game play experience, but some of it does. But definitely, there are companies that you guys have heard me rant about that I won't play a game from them on release anymore because I've been bit by them already, and I'm not going to let it happen again. You talk about From Software. Elden Ring was terrible on PC. It was gross on PC and obviously a port from console. It was so blatantly obvious. Same thing with Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy was the same exact thing. Funny enough, it had way more options for visual settings and video settings and things like that, but it didn't help anything. It was a stuttery, frame droppy mess, dude, and it felt horrible. I got 8 days into it and had to drop it. It's these kinds of things, and it really does. It destroys their reputation for people like me, anyways. That I will not, until I see improvement and progression from these companies in the way they release their games. I won't play another one on release. There's no way. Because I feel duped. It's terrible. Game porting process. Porting a video game from one platform to another involves adapting the game's code and assets to work on different hardware, not on a different hardware, on different hardware and software platforms. While the specific process can vary depending on the game and the platforms involved, there are several common steps that are typically involved in the porting process, involving research and planning, code adaptation, asset conversion, testing and debugging, release, and support. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes through the QA process. It's very, very important for these situations. The role of quality assurance of video game porting: identifying and resolving technical issues, ensuring consistency across the platforms, improving the user experience. I'll just read the bottom line here, and I'll let you guys take a look at the rest of this if you're interested. In conclusion, quality assurance plays a crucial role in the video game porting by mitigating the challenges involved in adapting a game to work on a different platform. Effective QA processes can help identify and resolve technical issues, ensure consistency across platforms, and improve the user experience of the ported game. By implementing a rigorous QA process, developers can create successful game ports that are stable, functional, and enjoyable for players. This can contribute to the success of their brand by reaching new audiences and expanding the reach of their games. Ultimately, the impact of quality assurance on the final product is significant. A well-executed QA process can ensure that the game is released in a polished and optimized state, which can lead to positive reviews, increased player engagement, and ultimately a higher return on investment for developers. I talk about this all the time. The big thing for me about, I harp on the industry a lot about mediocre to bad products being pushed out. And, I have to always put this disclaimer in. I don't think it's easy. Anybody that thinks that, me harping on the industry, I come off as thinking that these processes are easy. It's not. But here's the deal. Quality products ultimately, more often than not, are going to yield a higher return on investment for the developers, short and long term. It's going to leave an impression on the consumer showing that this is a developer that cares and produces quality products. So not only are they more willing to invest now, but they're more willing to invest later. As opposed to the opposite, like I said, with companies that I've been jaded by, that I've felt duped by, that I'm like, I will not play their games again until I see something in the future, a trend in the future even, that shows me they're better than they used to be. And I think that's what, developers, we see a lot of the big ones too. Like I've talked about this before. They lean on their name and they lean on their titles more than they care about actually producing quality content, right? And for an individual like me, it's so blatantly obvious whenever they create a game, release it on numerous platforms, and it gets ported over to other ones, and it was ported. It wasn't optimized. It was just a direct port. There wasn't any kind of like real QA done on it. At least if there was QA, they weren't listened to. It's really, really, really obvious, and it's gross. It feels gross, and this is a great article for people to take into consideration about the way this process works, and why it's important, and what it can do in the long and short term for improving a business in the software development world of tech, right? This is one of those things that like I talk about a lot in our gaming segments and when I play games and stuff like that too. If you want more, I didn't like elaborate on the entire thing, but that's the gist of it anyways. Sonic Frontiers is getting a free update this week, including new modes. Sonic Frontiers will receive its first of 3 planned updates on Wednesday, March 22nd. The free DLC, dubbed Sights, Sounds, and Speed, has a load of new features, including photo mode, jukebox, and new challenge modes. Sega previously detailed its plans to support Sonic Frontiers in the long term last November, but it didn't share a timeline for when the updates were coming. Now that first wave is finally here, giving the game its first significant update since it launched last year. Photo mode can be accessed from the pause menu, brings up a camera for you to move freely while gameplay is paused. Pause the game at just the right moment and let your photography skills run wild by zooming in, zooming out, tilting the camera any which way, and applying filters. The Jukebox feature allows fans to play songs not just from Sonic Frontiers, but also from other games in the Sonic series while running around the Starfall Islands. The list of tracks includes classics such as Live and Learn from Sonic Adventure 2. An aura of music notes will surround Sonic while songs play. There are 53 songs available in total, with only 13 available at first. The remaining 40 songs are unlocked by collecting sound memories on each island. After completing the main story, players will unlock 2 new challenge modes from the title screen, Cyberspace Challenge and Battle Rush. The Cyberspace Challenge is a time attack challenge where players race against the clock to beat multiple cyberspace stages in a row. Battle Rush is a timed battle mode where the goal is to defeat multiple robots, guardians, and titans in one sitting. And you won't have to worry about losing your rings when fighting the titans. Sonic Frontiers Sights and Sounds and Speed update launches on March 22nd. Prime Gaming and Riot Games run it back. Man, they got a new contract, it looks like. Seattle and Los Angeles, March 20th, yesterday. Amazon Prime Gaming and video game developer publisher Riot Games have renewed a promotion to make Riot's games better for Amazon Prime members through exclusive in-game content for Riot's biggest titles, including League of Legends, Legends of Runeterra, Valorant, League of Legends, Wild Rift, and new this year, Teamfight Tactics. Prime Gaming will also continue its role as a global sponsor across Riot's esports titles, League of Legends esports, and Valorant esports, as well as becoming the first global sponsor for Teamfight Tactics esports, providing free content during various events throughout the year. This collaboration, which runs through 2023, showcases Prime Gaming's support of Riot's growing portfolio of world-class esports events that continue to be the hottest ticket in the industry, selling out some of the world's most iconic arenas in record time. So, all the way through the rest of this year, and we'll see what comes next. Prime members will have an opportunity to claim the following offers. League of Legends content, Teamfight Tactics content, Wild Rift content, Valorant content, and Runeterra content. There's some quotes from the companies here. Yeah, as part of the year-long collaboration, Prime Gaming will be a global sponsor across League of Legends esports, the Valorant Championships Tour, and Teamfight Tactics esports competitions, as well as sponsor multiple League of Legends esports events for the LCS and LEC and VCT competitions in North America and EMEA regions in 2023. Prime members can claim in-game content for Riot game titles as they become available by visiting gaming.amazon.com or clicking on this link. I'll link this entire article for you guys. Head over to the League of Legends capsule page to claim this month's in-game benefits right now. All right. There you go. It's in chat. 17 more PS Plus Extra premium games available now on PS5 and PS4. Latest monthly update for PS Plus Extra and Premium has arrived, and it's another great one. March's selection of software coming to these upper subscription tiers include a total of 17 games. There's a fantastic spread that should give everyone something to enjoy. The games are available to download right now on PS5 and PS4 in Europe, and will hit North American shores in a matter of hours. They're probably already there. This was probably yesterday. This was at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. So, might already be there by this point, though. PS Plus extras for March. Chia, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, Immortals Phoenix Rising, Rainbow Six Extraction, Ghostwire Tokyo, Life is Strange True Colors, Life is Strange 2, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition, Untitled Goose Game, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, Rage 2, Neo, The World Ends With You, and Haven. PS Plus Premium additional offerings for March are Ridge Racer Type 4, which we hit on yesterday in yesterday's news segment. We saw a bit of an old trailer for the game, kind of wild. Ape Academy 2, and Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. Random mode time, get them in there. Yeah, we've seen stuff on Chia already. An indie open world adventure that's releasing day one on PS Plus Extra. Members will have access to this charming new game as well as everything else listed above. Yeah, Chia, pretty cool, cute, vibrant little game. The protagonist in the game has a soul. What do they call it in the game? I can't remember. It's like you basically send your soul into other items of the world, and like whether it be inanimate objects, normally inanimate objects, or animals, and you can use them to like help you travel throughout the the world, the environment, and everything, and it looks really cool. You got like a raft, and it's mostly there's like a lot of water in the world. It's like an island adventure kind of thing. It looks pretty cool, pretty cute. If you need more here you go. Respawn opens third studio to keep Apex Legends going for 10 to 15 years. Call of Duty veteran Ryan Burnett to lead new studio in Madison, Wisconsin. The ongoing popularity of Apex Legends has caused Respawn to open its third studio, the company has announced. Originally founded by former Call of Duty developers and debuting with military sci-fi shooter Titanfall in 2014, later working on the Star Wars Jedi series, Respawn is best known for Apex Legends, a battle royale that began life as a spin-off of Titanfall. While the studio continues to gain attention with its upcoming Star Wars game Jedi Survivor, it's Apex Legends that's driving the growth. It's that game that has prompted the firm's new branch in Madison, Wisconsin. Although the latest studio may contribute to other Respawn products in the future, the initial focus will be to support Apex Legends. To lead the new team, Respawn has hired Ryan Burnett as studio director for Wisconsin. Prior to his previous position at Epic Games as director of engine production, Burnett spent 14 years at Call of Duty Studios Raven Software, just one of the major studios based in the area. Yeah. The official announcement describes Respawn Wisconsin as being dedicated to the live service development of Apex Legends, but Burnett is quickly to stress that his branch is not some remote live ops department. It's an expansion of the core Apex development team, working hand in hand with studios in Los Angeles and Vancouver. He also says it's essential to helping the company maintain its cadence of a new Apex Legends season every 90 days. This growth for the studio has precedence, pointing to the opening of its second studio in 2019. It's a long article. Lots of quotes, lots of this is like a long interview process, but that's the gist of what we needed to get there. So third studio there, yeah, in Madison, right? Madison, Wisconsin. So keeping Apex going. It's a good game, man. I like Apex. It's cool. If you need more out of it, there it is in chat. Netflix. This is the last article I have. If anybody has anything to add, let me know. We'll address it before we move on. Okay. Netflix plans 40 more game releases in 2023, which is just about 10 less than they did last year. But I think they're planning on getting more into the development process this year, which is going to, take some time. Netflix plans to launch 40 more video games before the end of 2023 as it pushes forward with its plans to be a global force in gaming, company reps tell Axios. The company has 70 games in the works from external partners and 16 games in various stages of development from Netflix's growing roster of internal game studios. Upcoming games include an April exclusive from Ubisoft called Mighty Quest Rogue Palace, which we just talked about a little bit earlier in the news segment, an unspecified tie-in to a Netflix show from Super Evil Megacorp, and a 2024 re-release of the iconic mobile puzzle series Monument Valley, which first appeared on Netflix in a very different way back in 2015. The company has launched 55 games so far from indies and one big publisher, Ubisoft. Roster includes acclaimed multi-platform games such as Immortality and Into the Breach, as well as spin-offs of Netflix shows like Too Hot to Handle. Obviously, they've got stuff like oh geez, why can't I think of the name of that show right now? They're so flippin' popular for. Oh my god. What a brain fart, dude. It's right there on my tongue, too. Anyways. They've got a lot of other notable games that have been brought over to the platform over the past year, too, like Oxenfree, titles such as that. But they've done a good job at their initial kind of venture into gaming here with bringing over just notable titles outside of things that they're trying to develop in-house just to kind of get, people interested in what they're doing with their gaming platform. The company intends to keep working with indies and large-scale publishers beyond just Ubisoft, Stranger Things. That's what I was thinking of, Stranger Things. Excuse me. Beyond just Ubisoft, Loom says, to increase awareness, Netflix has experimented with promoting some games via QR codes that prompt TV viewers to get games. Still early in our journey, but we are constantly evolving and testing out new ways for our members to discover the games they love. Yeah, games on the service are offered for free to paying subscribers and have no in-app purchases. That's a big deal. As with film and TV, our game deals are based on flat fees. Additionally, for games, we pay for development costs depending on the deal terms. So it previously had been, all of their games had also been touted as not having any in-game ads. But I think that might be changing to an extent, because I think they're actually introducing right now, I think Netflix is introducing a lower tier subscription option. So a lower price point, right? That people can get into Netflix that will have ads as well. So Netflix hasn't really done this, but it's coming from, I mean, we read something this morning about it too. And what I'm assuming is that if you buy into their subscription tier that doesn't have ads, you won't have ads in your game either. But if you buy into the subscription tier, the lower subscription tier that does have ads, you'll probably have to deal with some ads in game as well. That would be my guess, but I haven't seen anything definitive on that front yet, so we'll wait and see. And I'll let you guys know as soon as I find out, okay? That's it, baby. That's the news. Look at all the emotes, man. That's the jam. That's the jam for today, March 21st, man. Good news segment. Thank you guys. Peter, what's up, buddy? How you doing? So we're going to move on. We're going to do some Warframe for a little bit till our buddy Pinky gets home from work, and then we're going to go play Divinity Day 7, man. Day 7 of Divinity Original Sin with our buddy and mod, amazing community member. My name is Peter. You guys rock. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being a part of this. If anybody's checking out this content or anything else that we've done previously as either highlights on the Twitch channel, or we've got all kinds of VODs on YouTube of previous video gaming news segments or episodes of playthroughs that we've done, funny clips, stuff like that. If you're enjoying it, come hang out with us. We go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day. Start off with video gaming news, and then we dive into whatever video gaming content we have planned for the rest of the day. All right? Other than that, you guys stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will catch everybody tomorrow for March 22nd's edition of Video Gaming News and Divinity Day 8, okay? And we have the Future Game Show. Long stream tomorrow. We'll be doing Future Game Show Showcase at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific to end the stream. So come hang out with us, all right?